Well, next Saturday, people will be gathering at GTCC. This is to discuss the future of youth here in our area. The organization Youth of North Carolina is holding their first ever Youth Resilience Summit, and this will be a one-day event, and organizers are inviting all of us to be a part of it.
How exciting, to the first ever event. We say good morning to Jim Allegretto, Director of Youth of NC. Great to have you, Jim.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. So first, let's talk about really the inspiration behind starting the Youth of North Carolina organization and this expo.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. The Youth of North Carolina was founded 5 years ago by Bill Goebel, a local businessman. But he's worked with youth and youth organizations for his entire life. And he recognized that there was one thing that needed to be helped, and that was building resiliency in our kids locally. So he developed Youth of North Carolina, and we provide supplemental training and support services for other youth-serving organizations around the state. And that's many different organizations. We work with the Girl Scouts, the Boys and Girls Club, and we work with small nonprofits to help get the word out about youth resiliency and help them wherever they may need help.
This is awesome, Jim. It sounds like it's a one-stop shop for all of those arms that we already have here in our community. So, Jim, can you sort of explain to me a little bit more on why you chose to organize an event like this? Does it really help bring the community together?
Well, yeah, absolutely it has. And, and one of the things that we've realized with working with other youth organizations is that there are silos. There are silos, and people work independently. If you're working to prevent food insecurity, that's the one thing that you're working on. And if you're working to prevent child abuse, that's the one thing you're working on. But there is a connection there. The Center for Disease Control and scientists have discovered that youth that experience adverse childhood experiences. Adverse childhood experiences are potentially traumatic events that happen in a child's life. And the Center for Disease Control and the scientists have realized that these have huge effects later on in life. Resilience is important mostly for long-term mental and physical health. And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, children who experience 4 or more of these adverse childhood experiences, could grow up, to have 2 times the chances of having cancer, or 1.9 times more likely to become alcoholic, or 12 times more likely to attempt suicide. Now, they've realized that all these things are related, and building resiliency in youth helps to eliminate them or minimize their effects as adults. So that was what started us off on a path to create this Youth Resilience Summit.
So before you tell us exactly what this one-day Youth Resilience Summit is, Jim, I'd like you to explain to people, if they have children at home, what is a resilient child? I mean, how would you describe the traits of one who exudes resilience?
Well, that is a fantastic question. So we all experience adversity. All of us. It doesn't make a difference who we are. We all experience adversity. It's how we overcome them that allows us to be productive adults. So I'm going to give you a really great example, and it's one that we can relate to in our society. So if you have a youth that their parents are going through a divorce, that's an adverse childhood experience. That's potentially traumatic to that child. Now, a lot of people today, go through divorce, and having one adverse childhood experience, people can overcome that. But when they multiply their adverse childhood experiences, let's say that there's a family that's going through divorce, and let's say the father is abusive, and let's say the mother has a mental health concern, the chances of that child overcoming, that adverse childhood experience is very, very difficult. So that's why it's important to, anybody who cares about kids, it's important to them to build resiliency in our youth.
Jim, we are all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will have the details on how folks can register. We will post this interview on triadcw.com. You can take a photo of this website too on the screen now to register in advance for this event next Saturday, November 4th. Jim, thanks so much.